Getting back to the first part of the question, do you support the North Canton City Schools bond and income tax levy?
No, I do not. And I made it clear to the school board members and also to our superintendent, Jeff Wendorf. I find their position was very similar to the position that I had when I initially first became mayor and we were losing the Hoover Company. The first thing I wanted to do was to raise the income tax. And I had actually put together a nice slick PowerPoint. And and I thought, boy, this should really gain the approval of our city council. And our city council members, we had Pat Diorio was on there at the time, and Jim Repace, and also Daryl Revolt, Marcia Kiesling, Doug Fultz. We had a lot of experienced elected officials at that time. And they said, no, we're not raising the income tax. We think it's important for economic development to keep the income tax low. And I was, it hit the administration hard, because then we had to find a way to continue to provide the same level of service without raising the income tax. And really, that turned out to be the best decision that I think I've made as mayor, not raising the income tax, because it truly did attract new businesses to the city. Whenever we would bring a new business to the city, which we've bought, well over a dozen new businesses, they said what attracted them to the city is, number one, it's a safe and clean community, but also that our income tax was lower than other municipalities that they were looking at, and there was no cost to park. And people might say, oh, does that really make a difference? But you figure if you have 100 or 200 employees, and then you have to pay them an additional 1% on their income or subsidize their parking, that can be thousands of dollars to a business every month, every year. And so we've learned to keep that income tax low. So how does that tie in to the school district? I have 6 children. My son Luke, and then I have my 5 daughters, and we love the school district. But I think the income tax that they're asking, a 0.75%, that's a permanent tax. That's permanently.
It's not 5 years.
It's not 5 years, not 3 years, not 7 years. It's a permanent tax. So you'll have people that live in the school district. If they live in the school district and they work in Akron, they'll be paying 3% income tax. If they work in Canton and live in the school district and in the city, they'll be paying 2.75. That's a really, really big increase. And then it's also coupled with a property tax. And so a $100,000 home, I believe, is like $140. And if you live in a $200,000 home, it's like $280. So that's a lot of money. I think it's too much. And I think that we should do things just as we've done in the city, do it incrementally. Right. We don't need to tear down all the school buildings. The Hoover District's 100 years old. We're revitalizing that. A lot of our schools are anywhere from 50 to 75 years old. And I think that we do an assessment on the buildings, which the school board did do. But I think what we have to do is do it incrementally,
right. Well,
not all at once.
Which translates into be better managers.
Yeah, I think they're very
more
good managers. I think that we have a great school board, and I think we have a great superintendent, and we have a great treasurer. But it's one of those things when you feel that pressure of getting cuts from the state of Ohio.